Okay, I wanted to talk about the Foxwell NT909. It is a pretty decent scanner. Overall, I am pretty impressed with it. When it comes to diagnostic side of things, it is a very good scanner. I can't knock it. Maintenance, it's 50-50. It does work, it doesn't work. It works on some cars, it doesn't work on some cars, but that tends to happen with quite a few scanners. That's why mechanics will have multiple scanners, and they are able to do different things on different scanners, etc, etc. So it does let them do that, you know. When it comes to quality build, I do like this scanner. This scanner does feel good. I like the hook on a steering wheel. You know, you hook it on and it just sits there and you can just get on with whatever you're doing. When it comes to maintenance, it does allow you to do certain things. For example, electronic parking brake. I'm in my Mercedes. Boom. Smart VIN. I am going to put the phone down for a second because I don't really want you seeing my vehicle information, and I can't be bothered to edit later, so this is what it is. So you can go into control modules, right, and it will just say okay. Then you go into your active test, move assembly to position, for example, and you can open and close your parking brake. It will tell you left and right what it's doing, etc, etc, and it does tell you press 1 to move to assembly position, deactivate assembly position, right? So when you do that, it activates it. You can hear it, and now it won't let me press 2, so I'll press 1 again. Nothing happens. But if you go out, it will just cancel it, right? So, and then electronic parking brake, you can do more active tests, etc, etc, right? But then you go into, for example, you want to let's say oxygen sensor, right? My car's not supported, right? There's no Mercedes for this. That's all the vehicles that are supported for oxygen sensor, right? There's certain other things that you might not be able to do, right? Like this one, I'm not able to do. This one does support more vehicles, but it doesn't support my vehicle, right? Oh, it does. I do have a Mercedes. Oh, okay. That's my bad. So there is, again, hiding my details. No, that's really that important to do so. Instrument cluster, right? Okay. And it does tell you total distance. That's pretty much it. So no active test there. So this is what I mean when I say a lot of this stuff works, but it doesn't. Now when it comes to this is a different story. So again, I'm gonna hide my screen quickly. I don't really want you seeing my VIN number, right? And then yes, that's my vehicle, right? So that's what you end up getting. I just took a screenshot of it. I will delete it because that was accidental. And when you do a quick scan, it will scan everything basically, and that's what it's doing now. It will scan over 41 modules in this car. It will scan more or less in other vehicles depending, you know, on the car make, etc, and how they connect to each other and how many modules the car actually has as well. The older the car, the less modules it will have. The newer the car, the more modules it will have. But you see, this is real lifetime, you know, how long it actually takes to scan a car. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes realistically to scan a car from 0 to 100%, and for you to be able to get a report. The thing I do really like about the way this scanner actually gives you a report, I will show you when we get to 100%, but it's really to do with the description. It tells you the code. It gives you a nice description of what the actual fault is, And you know, with my old scanner, I used to basically get the code, go on Google and try figuring out what the code actually means, etc., etc. Where now I don't need to do that anymore, because I do have one fault on this car, so I will show you, and it does tell you exactly what the fault is, etc. So when you press report, to be honest, you don't really need to press report. You can work just from this screen once it completes to 100%. I press report mainly because it just makes the screen bigger, right? It gets rid of the buttons, the options, and it just gives me a bigger screen to read my report of. That's really the only reason. So now we're hitting into the 40s. That's close to 100%. So again, that was probably 2 to 3 minutes that it actually took to scan, and now it has given me a report. Oh, okay. Well, that fault disappeared. I did have a fault there, but I don't have that now, so I guess I must have cleared it. So as you see, this car has no faults, so there's nothing to report and there's nothing to show. So I can't show you what I was actually trying to show you with the description it gives you of the code and stuff when you press report, right? But you go back and, like I say, you can click into certain things, whatever, tire pressure monitoring, for example, and you do have your active test, right? Left front, for whatever reason, does not want to give me the option. Maybe there's an issue with that sensor. That is something that I will look into it. But we've got the left front right, tire pressure certainly on it, operate, and yeah, boom, actual values, etc. So it tells you just basically what my sensor is. It doesn't actually give you any information or let you do any proper testing when it comes to that. No, I'm not going to go into it. So again, just because I couldn't be bothered, I don't want to go into it, but just to show you that not all active tests will have an active test. And again, like I showed you earlier, not all services will be able to actually do anything on your car. The one that's really annoying for me with this scanner is actually ABS bleeding. So you know, I actually can't bleed most ABS systems with this scanner. It just doesn't seem to work for whatever reason. It does allow me to go into active test, and then once I actually go into it, etc., it will tell me that the action has failed or whatever else it will say. But you do have a lot of different things you can do to your car with this scanner. It is worth investing into it if you're a mechanic. I personally wouldn't buy this for home use. It's just way too expensive. You're going to use it 2-3 times and put it away. Personally, I just wouldn't do that unless you are into your cars and you do work on your cars. Then that kind of makes sense. But if you are just looking for your everyday scanner, this probably isn't for you, just because of the price range. It just doesn't really make sense. But like I say, when it comes to the diagnostic side of the scanner, I love it. It's amazing. It does work really well. Never had any issues with the connectivity either. I do want to exit, before this screen. So when you click this and it starts reading it, I'm not going to go into it. I am going to back out because I'm just trying to show you something. But again, that quick scan is also very good for your VIN. You get all your details. You don't have to go manually into things, which I do guess is pretty much standard on most scanners these days. But as I am kind of reviewing this one, I'm not really reviewing it, just giving you my thoughts on it. You may be a little bit disappointed with this screen, but when it comes to this, I haven't had any issues. So yeah, just be aware, this is where it is. You know how most scanners work, so I'm not going to go into, massive details on how this works, etc. that's basically what you're going to end up with. It's pretty much like a tablet. You can have your email, you can have everything else on it. You've got a camera on it as well, which does become helpful. You can take videos, and it is actually pretty decent quality. You know, it's not your 4K camera, it's not your iPhone camera obviously, but for what you're going to be using, if you're trying to take a quick picture of a car, whatever, or some information, if you're performing servicing or stuff like that, and you're trying to reset an oil or remember the VIN for your certificate or remember the mileage, etc., etc. So it's kind of useful to have this sort of thing, and you can save it with the customer to the car, which is quite good. This is, you know, the way this works. You do have internet access if you're connected to internet. I am connected to Wi-Fi at the moment because I am at home. Then you can, you know, do your VCI firmware update, etc., etc. Then just go back to your cars, your actual update for this software. Just waiting. I have 0 software updates. I am pretty much up to date. I did update the scanner this morning, so it should be pretty good when it comes to that. But yeah, like I say, it is an overall pretty decent scanner, and you do have some data management here as well if you want to go through your images, delete whatever, and find, you know, stuff that you took pictures of. And like I say, this is pretty much where you're going to be spending most of your time. In reality, you're probably going to be spending most of your time here. And for you that also don't know, this maintenance screen, everything that you see here, you can access through the diagnostic screen. It's just a different sort of menu. So again, overall, this will become useless to you, and you will just end up going through it. When you get a scanner out first and you're not sure how to use it properly, you may end up going through the maintenance screen, but it ends up being longer because anything you have to do, whatever it is, right, like I have to scan my car again, right? And I have to do this every single time. So let's say I want to exit this, and now I want to look into, I don't know, a battery, right? Again, I have to find my scanner, find my car, scan it again. And every single time I want to do something different, I have to change it. Where it's like if you go into your actual diagnostic, you scan your car once, it allows you to do everything you want to do with your car. And that's going to probably be the way you're going to be doing it, because it saves you a lot of time and you don't have to keep rescanning the car, reconnecting to the car, etc., etc. So this video is already way longer than I wanted it to be, but I wanted to kind of just give you an overall view what I think of the Foxwell. It is pretty decent. It is very well built. Like I say, it does, you know, take pretty decent pictures. You can have it on your lap and just work with it. It is very comfortable. It is quite thick, which is nice. You know, it's not a thin tablet, like you don't feel like you're going to drop it. It does have a power up and down button. I've never used the up and down button in my life. I have obviously turned it off and whatever, and then this is where all your charging stuff is. So that's your charger. That's a mini HDMI cable. Don't know what you would use that for. I guess if you want to connect to the screen or training or something like that. And then you've got your USB cable, and that's what you use to update your VCI. And then, like I say, you have that little stand, which I do love because it just allows you to do this, and it does allow you to just put the scanner anywhere and it will stand. So it is pretty decent for the money. What you get, it is very good. I do like this scanner. I am very happy with it overall. Like I say, I am a little bit disappointed with the maintenance. For example, like things like these that just don't get supported, but it's not too much of a killer. The main thing that does for me is the ABS bleeding that doesn't work. That's a big one for me, just because, you know, I do work on brakes a lot. So the ABS bleeding ability, it's really a shame that it doesn't work. But like I say, overall, I am very happy with this scanner.